From WREL News and the Capital Broadcasting Podcast Network, this is your Coronavirus, North Carolina News Brief for Tuesday, May 5th, 2020. I'm Cliff Baumgardner. Here's the latest from WREL.com. Today, Governor Roy Cooper will explain how Phase 1 of the state's plan to reopen North Carolina will work. The stay-at-home order, which went into effect in March, expires this Friday, May 8th, but everything won't go back to normal all at once. As part of Phase 1, retail and non-essential stores will be allowed to open, but social distancing guidelines will still apply. Businesses that reopen will be required to clean their stores regularly and screen their employees for symptoms before they come into work. Parks and trails will also be allowed to open in Phase 1. Some things, though, will remain the same. Gatherings of 10 people or more are not allowed, and dining rooms will remain closed, keeping restaurants to drive-through, takeout, and delivery service only. And people will be encouraged to wear face masks when they can't social distance. Companies are still expected to allow employees to work from home if possible. Senior citizens and people with health issues are still advised to social distance, and rigorous rules will remain in effect at nursing homes and care facilities. Phase 2 won't take effect until 2 to 3 weeks after Phase 1, and only if the virus spread slows. Phase 2 will reopen public playgrounds and allow gatherings at churches and entertainment venues, but with reduced capacity. Governor Cooper will speak more about the plans for Phase 1 at a press conference later today at the time of recording. We'll cover that conference in detail on tomorrow's news brief. Today, NC Chamber, the state's top business lobbying group, called for an immediate reopening of most North Carolina businesses during the coronavirus pandemic, as long as they can adhere to safety guidelines. The group issued a 3-phase plan that calls for a faster reopening of restaurants, hair salons, and other businesses than Cooper outlined in his own plan 2 weeks ago. Under the Chamber plan, restaurants and personal care businesses such as salons, barbershops, gyms, and pet groomers could reopen immediately, as long as they practice social distancing and workers wear masks and gloves. Churches would also be allowed to hold services with social distancing guidelines in place. But again, the governor has said that moving from one phase of his plan to the next would depend on data showing the virus on a downward trend in the state. 2 to 3 weeks of such trends would be needed to go into Phase 2. When the restaurants, bars, gyms, salons, and other businesses could reopen, as long as the number of people inside were limited and other safety protocols were followed. Both the governor and the chamber call for employers to continue letting workers work from home whenever possible and adhere to strict guidelines to disinfect surfaces and areas routinely to limit the spread of the virus. A model revised with new data in recent days projects the rise in North Carolina's COVID-19 death toll will begin to slow in the next few weeks. More than 400 people in North Carolina have lost their lives to the disease caused by the novel coronavirus since it began spreading in the state in late March. The new model from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention predicts hundreds of additional deaths over the next few weeks. But the model also shows the number of deaths per day may have reached a peak. The state-level CDC forecast, a composite of 9 other models from universities and public health researchers, predicts 762 deaths in North Carolina through the week ending May 23rd. Like most other states, however, the CDC ensemble shows the growth in those deaths day over day slowing in North Carolina. The projection includes quite a bit of uncertainty, though, and the CDC notes that it's based on models that largely assume social distancing policies will stay in place through the forecast period. Lastly, from WRAL TechWire, 2 Raleigh teens have launched CopperSafe, a mask-producing company aiming to keep people safe during the pandemic. Less than a week after brothers Dylan and Connor Clark officially launched the company, the duo reports that they have already sold out of their first production run and are now in the middle of a second round of manufacturing. Connor, a 9th grader at Cardinal Gibbons High School, and Dylan, a student at North Raleigh Christian Academy, launched the startup while home from school during the COVID-19 crisis. They say they saw a need for facial coverings that were comfortable and reusable. CopperSafe masks are infused with copper, a naturally occurring antimicrobial, self-sanitizing element, which one study suggests is better than common materials at preventing the spread of infectious diseases. The startup is already hiring new employees in marketing and setting up an office in North Raleigh. The masks are currently being manufactured at a cut-and-sew facility near Asheville, but the brothers say they are exploring partnerships in Garner and Greensboro. This has been your Coronavirus North Carolina News Brief for Tuesday, May 5th, 2020. As always, if you like the information and resources you get from this show, let us know. Leave a rating and review wherever it is you listen. And be sure to subscribe so you don't miss our new episodes. Thanks for listening.